Hey everyone, I'm JR, and this is one of Mike's mini history lessons. Taking place during World War II, the Holocaust was the genocide of the European Jews by Nazi Germany and its collaborators. There were around 9.5 million Jews in Europe in 1933, most heavily concentrated in the East, with roughly 3.5 million in Poland, 3 million in the Soviet Union, nearly 800,000 in Romania, and 700,000 in Hungary, with Germany having over 500,000 before the war. Germany first used concentration camps as places of terror and for unlawful incarceration of political opponents. Large number of Jews were not sent there until after Kristallnacht in November 1938. After war broke out in 1939, new camps were established, many outside of Germany and occupied Europe. Most wartime prisoners of the camps were not Germans, but belonged to countries under German occupation. In 1942, the economic function of the camps, previously secondary to their penal and terror functions, came to the forefront. Forced labor of camp prisoners became commonplace. The guards became much more brutal, and the death rate increased as the guards not only beat and starved prisoners, but killed them far more frequently. By the end of the war, more than 6 million Jews had been killed. Many more fled Europe after the war to modern-day Israel or America, and it's estimated that there were only about 1 million Jews left in Europe after World War II. One man decided to help some of those Jewish families avoid persecution. Nicholas George Winton was born in Wertheim, a small town in southwest Germany, on May 19, 1909. Born to German Jewish parents, his family immigrated to Britain at the beginning of the 20th century, where Winton would grow up to become a banker. But what made him truly special is that he supervised the rescue and relocation of 669 children, most of whom were Jewish, from Czechoslovakia on the eve of World War II. Winton found homes for these children and arranged for their safe passage to Britain. Shortly before Christmas, 1938, Winton was planning to travel to Switzerland for a skiing holiday, but after a call for help from Marie Schmolka and Doreen Werner, he decided instead to visit Prague and help Martin Blake. Blake was in Prague as an associate of the British Committee for Refugees from Czechoslovakia, then in the process of being occupied by Germany, and had called Winton to ask him to assist in Jewish welfare work. Alongside the Czechoslovakian Refugee Committee, the British and Canadian volunteers such as Winton, Trevor Chadwick, and Beatrice Wellington worked to aid children from Jewish families at risk from the Nazis. Altogether, Winton spent 1 month in Prague and left in January 1939, 6 weeks before the German occupation of Czechoslovakia. Other foreign volunteers remained, such as Chadwick, Werner, and Wellington. In November 1938, following Kristallnacht in Nazi-ruled Germany, the House of Commons approved a measure to allow the entry into Britain of refugees younger than the age of 17, provided they had a place to stay, and a warranty of £50 was deposited for their eventual return to their own country. An important obstacle was getting official permission to cross into the Netherlands, as the children were to embark on the ferry at Hook of Holland. After Kristallnacht in November 1938, the Dutch government officially closed its borders to any Jewish refugees, returning any discovered by the Dutch police to Germany, despite the horrors of Kristallnacht already being well known. Winton succeeded thanks to the guarantees he had obtained from Britain. After the first train, the process of crossing the Netherlands went smoothly. Winton ultimately found homes in Britain for 669 children, many of whose parents would perish in the Auschwitz concentration camp. His mother worked with him to place the children in homes and later hostels. Throughout the summer of 1939, he placed photographs of the children in picture posts seeking families to accept them. He also wrote to U.S. politicians such as President FDR, asking them to take more children. He said that 2,000 more might have been saved if they had helped, but only Sweden took any besides those sent to Britain. Winton was humble about his amazing efforts, not even telling his wife. The only evidence, aside from the children of course, was a scrapbook he kept in the attic of his home with a complete list of names and photographs of all the children he had helped save. Winton's wife Greta would later discover the book in 1988 and shared it with a journalist. Winton's legacy would not be kept quiet for long. That same year, he was invited as a member of the audience for a UK television show called That's Life. Totally unaware that he was actually the guest of honor, in the middle of the show, the entire audience gave him a standing ovation. But what made the moment truly special was that the entire audience was made up of the children he had saved. Needless to say, Winton was clearly surprised. In 2003, Winton was knighted by Queen Elizabeth for his services to humanity, and on October 28, 2014, he was awarded the highest honor of the Czech Republic, the Order of the White Lion First Class, by Czech President Miloš Zeman. Winton died on July 1, 2015, at the age of 106, in his sleep. Nicholas Winton, rescuer of 669 children from the Holocaust, has had a train and roads named after him, but his legacy is truly preserved by those who he helped survive. Or at least, that's the lesson you would get if Mike was your history teacher.